from the studios of the Bakersfield, California. It's time to open up with real people, real talk about real stuff. And now, a special welcome to our friends throughout California, across the nation, and around the world to this week's edition of Open Up.
Good morning and welcome to Open Up. I'm Tina Miller.
And I'm John Clark, and we're your favorite pair on the air, certainly trying hard to be.
Yes, that's what we hear. Hey, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We've got an exciting show lined up. Don will tell you what's coming up later in the show.
Yes, if you or a member of your family or a friend that you really care about is involved in any way with running a small business, starting a small business, trying to make it prosper and succeed, we have a resource for you in our first two segments that's next to nothing. In fact, he's known as the man who saved Kia in Korea just by his advice and counsel, and he is quite an expert. And then, thanks to you, we have... you may not know the name, but his name is Gene Griesman. And if you have any kind of admiration for Abraham Lincoln, Gene Griesman is Mr. Lincoln. He portrays Lincoln all over America. He's written a wonderful, just a book almost of biblical wisdom called Words Lincoln Lived By.
Oh, yes.
We're going to hear from him. Where is he when we call in?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. So he'll be in the second segment. If you love Abraham Lincoln, of course, this is the week that honors when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated.
150 years ago this past Tuesday, so we're recognizing this week, Don. 150 years ago,
Gina,
the assassination.
take it away.
Yes, of course. Thank you to our dear friends, Nature's Fruit Market and Juice Bar. We're drinking our beloved Alibaba, and it has all the delicious greens, and we've introduced it to our dear friend here, our guest. Don, I brought something additional. I don't know if you've had this, but this is called a killer shot. And it's wheatgrass with a touch of cayenne pepper and lemon juice.
Pour it in.
You really just take this down, so I might share. I might let you have this morning.
A sip, but not a
shot.
Yeah.
It's really good. So thank you so much for joining us all over the world. We are ready to get started. Don.
All right. We've got with us now Bruce Pelkey. Bruce Pelkey is the senior consultant out of California State University on the Small Business Development Center. I believe that's the correct title, right?
Right.
First of all, let's just launch in. What is the Small Business Development Center? How widespread is it? And let's talk about what it does for people determined to make a success of a small business.
Sure. Actually, it was initially started by the Small Business Administration in Washington, D.C., they created this program back in 1980. There are now approximately 1,000 SBDC centers around the U.S. We have 35 in California, which is divided up into 6 different regions. And we, here locally, cover the 4 counties from Kern East to the Nevada border.
Okay. Who qualifies to be a part of this? How much does it cost?
Yes.
Well, the good news is that there's no charge to the client. And there's not necessarily any qualification criteria so much as the first step is to go to our website, which is csub.edu/SBDC, and register. And then once you're registered, you will have an initial meeting or consultation with one of our consultants at the SBDC Center. Now, one thing I should mention is we're not on the Cal State campus per se. We actually have an office downtown right across the street from here.
Oh, okay.
From here, where? Which?
Over on 17th and H.
Okay,
17th.
all right.
Yeah.
So Bruce, let's get personal here. Tina and I are partners in this little business that we have, this talk show. We have big dreams for it. Right now, we're just a small operation, about 30,000 viewers, but some in 19 countries. But we have dreams to really take this and make it something, to have Skype capabilities so that we can talk face-to-face with anyone all over the world.
Right.
And a really good website, a world-class website is going to take at least $2,000. And so tell us about that. If you were counseling Tina and me, what would you say to us as starting a small business?
Well, I actually have developed what I call 4 different categories or classifications of people that come in to meet with us. The first I call dreamers.
Okay.
These are people
That's us.
with an idea, with a concept, but not necessarily any background in the area. And so what I do is I assign them basically homework assignments, such as go out and see what your competition looks like, how much competition is there, can you fill a niche market, have you done marketing research, what kind of assets do you have to be able to either start the business on your own or attract capital. So that's the first classification. The
Yes.
second are what I call dreamers with a vision.
Okay.
Now, these are people that have the vision, the idea, but they don't necessarily have the resources. But they have what I refer to as the stick-to-itiveness. They're really dedicated to making their vision become a reality. What we do is we come alongside of them. We do not do the work for them, but we help to guide and assist them in pursuing their dream and making it a success. The third category is what I call up-and-comers. Now, these are people who have experience in the area that they're interested in. They may have some resources. They may have already started a business and but not yet be incorporated or something like that. We can help take them to the next level and also provide funding, or not provide funding, but help them to obtain funding.
Let's just pause there for a minute. Where do
Sure.
you go? What resources do you have to find funding for entrepreneurs?
Well, there are a number of various programs that people can qualify for depending on what their status is, like veterans, minority-owned, women-owned businesses, those kinds of things. But again, a lot of people have the misconception that the SBA has a pot of money just sitting there to write checks to people that come in and have an interesting idea. That's not the case. What we do is we help people locate funding through traditional sources and see if they can qualify for SBA guarantees.
Okay. I interrupted you. What was the
Sure.
next category?
Well, the last is what I call going and growing.
Okay.
And those are people that are already in business, have established businesses, and are ready to really go up to the next level. We have a number of clients who are on local TV. You would recognize their names immediately. They are people that want to maybe acquire another business, open multiple locations, go more regionally or maybe even nationally. So we can help people at all of those levels.
Where would you put us? You've known us briefly. Where would you put us, and what would you do for us? We'll let the world listen in as we learn here.
Yes, we're being counseled.
Little free advice, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would put you probably in the up and coming or the going and growing.
Yes. Number 3 or 4.
Right.
Yes.
Because, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Bruce. I was thinking number 3, but
Right.
yeah.
Obviously have the experience. You have things going already. It's just a question of how can we assist you in, again, moving up, expanding. In your case, I understand you're already international, but having a more established website, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Sounds great to me.
Well, it sounds there are advantages. We have a woman right here who's a Navy veteran. She is a
Okay.
female. There are advantages to having that type of person at the head of the business. Are there not? Is there not?
There are.
Tell
There
us
are many
about that.
advantages. Well, as you've mentioned, as we mentioned before, there are particular interest in each of the what I'll call minority categories: women, minority-owned, veteran-owned. In that, both the federal government and the state of California have various programs to assist those businesses in particular.
Tina, I just think I've become a junior partner here.
Yes, you did. Wow, this is wonderful. I didn't expect this type of talk, but I'm so glad.
So, Bruce, you've got to tell us. Yeah, you have the title in the nation of Korea as the savior of Kia. Take us to that story because that's something we've got to hear here.
Well, actually, I was billed as the person that was going to save Kia, but I was not the savior of Kia. I actually started in the consulting business 25 years ago and started actually going international about that time. Spent a lot of time in the Soviet Union as they went through the privatization process, counseling with local governments, regional governments, companies that were, of course, government-owned, but were looking at privatizing, and got an invitation to go to Korea to work with Kia Motors. They were in an upside-down situation financially, and unfortunately, there was a change in the government of Korea at the time, and the senior staff at Kia were basically let go, changed over, and so my opportunity to work with Kia was cut short.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
So I don't want to overstate what I did do, but I certainly had an interest in helping them.
Bruce, your time in Russia when the fall of communism came, was there an explosion of entrepreneurial energy in Russia, or had they been pressed down for so long that people actually didn't know how to get started, and maybe it just kind of chugged along? What did you see and experience over there in the former Soviet Union?
There was an entire, I guess the word is panoply of individuals, companies. I had everything from former KGB officers who wanted to start businesses with money that they'd skimmed out of the government
Oh, wow.
to literally mom and pop operations, people that really had been hungering for the opportunity to start their own business, to succeed, and a wide range.
We've got to
Okay.
hear more about that. but
Yes,
we need to take a
definitely.
break.
So we will take a break and be back shortly. Thank you.